Greetings, all gallant sailors on YouTube. Welcome to Abyssal Recap. Today I will explain a pandemic thriller movie called Outbreak. Spoilers alert. Buckle up and take care. In July 1967, an unexplained virus broke out in a U.S. military camp in Zaire, Africa. The infected people were festering and suffering, and the death toll was rising, which resulted the entire camp getting wiped out. 28 years later, the unknown virus infested another village in Zaire, and Colonel Sam of the Infectious Disease Research Center received order to investigate with his team. Except for a shaman who lives in the mountains, all the people in the village were infected and died. Seeing them bleeding to death in a tragic way, it is reported that the first infected person is a young man. He came back from work and became ill. He drank the water from the well and spreaded the disease to the whole village. As for the cause of the disease is not known. It is known that the disease has a rapid symptom and high death rate, but does not spread through the air. Sam immediately reported the situation of the virus to Billy. He hoped that Billy could issue an alert, but Billy believes that since the existing period of the virus is short, it would not cause the spread of a wide range, so there is no need to issue a warning. Sam separated the virus from the blood sample, learning that the virus would decimate all normal cells within 5 hours. Billy took out a sample of the Motaba virus from 1967 and found that the two viruses were identical by comparing them. Billy and the general decided to dispatch Sam to New Mexico in order to keep it in secret, and Sam was extremely angry when he received the transfer order as he was doing animal antibody tests against the Motaba virus. But Sam does not give up on this. He tells his ex-wife Robbie the seriousness of the matter. Robbie works at the Atlanta CDC. Sam hopes that she can send a special alert to the medical staff. Robbie immediately reported the situation to his superiors, but his superiors do not give attention to it. Meanwhile, an African white-faced monkey was captured and then smuggled to the port of San Jose, California. James, an employee of the port's animal quarantine center, took the advantage to smuggle wild animals, and this time he bribed the doorman to bring the white-faced monkey out. On the way to the pet store, the white-faced monkey seemingly felt spooked by his loudspeaker and sprayed on his face. He did not give a heck, but his customer wanted a male monkey. James failed to sell it. It also scratched the pet store owner, and another monkey in the store ate its contaminated banana. After not selling her, James released the white-faced monkey to the wild, and then he got on a plane back to Boston, where his health condition was already worsening. When his girlfriend met him at the airport, James suddenly collapsed, and at the same time the pet store owner was also taken to the hospital. The doctor diagnosed his symptoms as intoxication, took his blood for testing, but the lab technician got splashed by the sample. Afterwards he only received a simple disinfection cleanup. Robbie received 2 cases of unexplained symptoms reported in Boston, quickly rushed to Boston. James in the hospital has been critically ill. His girlfriend was also infected by the kiss they shared. Robbie wanted to ask James the cause of the disease. James opened his mouth with difficulty and soon died. Robbie examined James's body and found that his organs had decayed. She immediately told the details to Sam. Sam learned that James worked in the port animal quarantine station. It is presumed that the source of the disease may still be there. Robbie arranged to isolate everyone at the quarantine station. Meanwhile, the laboratory technician living in the town of San Francisco Pine Bay went to the cinema with his girlfriend at night. He suddenly felt having dizzy and badly coughing. He soon fell to the ground, and spreaded the virus to the audiences around him. Later they were all sent to the hospital one after another. The medic unit sensed the situation was not right and reported the situation to the CDC, but received a message that there were 15 cases in Pine Cove. Sam learned of the situation and disobeyed the military order to change the route without permission and went to Pine Cove. Billy saw that the virus began to spread, so he took out the anti-serum that was developed years ago. The general, however, ordered to deploy troops to Pine Cove town to find out the possible virus host and commanded aggressive orders. The general said they could only follow the usual practice of censoring the news, so the army moved into town overnight to implement a military quarantine, and when Robbie and his colleagues arrived on the scene, Sam had already set up a temporary isolation area. When the doctors found that a patient in the hospital who had not been to the theater nor close contact with infection was also infected, Sam looked at the vent in the ward and had a bad feeling that the virus might have mutated to the point where it could be spread through the air. Sam's colleague Casey analyzed the infection chain. The pet store owner's blood splashed on the lab worker. He carried the virus and infected all audiences. But the pet store owner died from the original virus, and the lab technician died from the new virus. The virus must have mutated. So it can be presumed that there were 2 viruses in their host. If the animal is still alive, then it may be carrying antibodies to both viruses. Billy comes to town and learns that the virus is not only spreading rapidly, but also can be spread through the air unexpectedly. Robbie and his colleagues came to the pet store for investigation. only to see that the monkey that ate the contaminated banana also infected, so Robbie brought the monkey back. At this time the town has turned into riot, residents were panicking, some people tried to escape from the town, but aerial gunships blasted them after warnings. After the blood sample analysis, the monkey was found infected with the virus before the mutation. Sam feels that the problem probably lies in the animal quarantine center, so he had the CDC people double-check again and interrogate all the staff. The military has sent additional troops to impose military curfews on the town of Pine Cove. Billy sees the town of 2,600 residents, but there have been more than 600 cases of infection, so he deployed the anti-serum. Sam asked Billy about the source of the serum. Billy refused to answer. The deployment has been relatively late, the existing anti-serum does not work on mutated virus. Sam then asked his assistant to inject the monkeys with serum to observe its symptoms. Meanwhile, the investigation of the animal quarantine center was done, but still no clues were found. Sam still believes that the host of the virus must be related there and ordered another inspection of the animal quarantine center. Due to days of overworking, Casey felt exhausted. He inadvertently tore his suit, but he took it personal and went back to work. The White House was conducting a meeting in order to prevent the spread of the virus to Washington. They decided to drop a bomb onto Pine Cove to seal the crisis. Sam was meditating on how was James infected. Suddenly he noticed that the injected monkey recovered, but Casey suddenly fell on the ground. Sam then realized that Casey was infected earlier, but has been insisting on working until the moment of collapse. Robbie was interrupted by Casey's convulsing body and wounded her finger, making her infected. Sam was greatly distressed. He hopes Billy can tell him where the host's whereabouts. Billy said that they did not know it yet. Years ago, in order to protect the army, they finished the prototype anti-serum, but no one expected the virus would mutate. He comforts Sam he's done his job right, but now it's the army's time. Sam immediately realizes that the military is going to destroy the town. On the way back, he finally receives good news that one of the gatekeepers at the quarantine center revealed that he had helped James smuggle animals, but he didn't see what kind of animals James took, only that the animals came from Africa and the date was September 1st. Sam decided to find the cargo ship, however the general ordered to arrest him. Sam and his assistant found out the situation and took off their protective suits to change into military uniforms. They took a chopper and fly to San Francisco. They finally pinpointed the target ship by listing all cargo ships coming from Africa. And the two immediately pursued it with their chopper. And the captain, hearing that Sam was a doctor, took him to see the corpse of the crew member. Sam concluded that the virus host was related to this man. He then found a photo of the man with the white-faced monkey, and Sam was convinced that the white-faced monkey was the virus host. Then Sam broke into the TV station and showed the picture of the white-faced monkey, telling the public that the monkey was the source of the virus, and warning everyone not to approach it, and to call the CDC if they find any clues. A mother was shocked to see the news, and it turned out that her daughter had seen the white-faced monkey. Sam went to her location, and then waited until the little girl called the white-faced monkey out, and then the assistant sedated the monkey. Sam immediately tells Billy the good news of finding the host of the virus and asks Billy to cancel the bombardment. Billy says he will try to delay it and tells Sam to be careful. On the way, Sam and his assistant encounter the general's interception, but fortunately they successfully escaped from the pursuit and returned to the town of Pine Cove. At this point Robbie had been hardly living. In order to keep her from passing out, Sam took off the mask and encouraged her to face it together. Soon the team finished the anti-serum with the blood of white-faced monkey, made a synthetic anti-serum. Robbie was treated with it, gradually recovered. Sam was very happy that the new treatment worked. However, they heard from the radio that the bombers had taken off. Billy tried to persuade the general to withdraw the bombing order because of the cure, but he insists bombing the town to seal up the secret. Sam knows that he cannot dissuade General, so he and the assistant hopped on the helicopter. He uses the radio to inform the pilots on the bomber that they have the anti-serum now being given to the patients. Sam wants the pilots to understand that they cannot bomb their own citizens by carrying out orders. At which point Sam added that the reason the virus had spread so quickly was that it was related to biochemical weapons developed by the military 30 years ago. If the town was doomed, the serum will also be gone. Sam's words hinted Billy, who had long been dissatisfied with the general's unscrupulousness, and told Sam that if he flew into the bomber's flypath, the bomber would not be able to complete its mission. Sam and his bud then made their determination of death and went straight up against the bomber, and at the critical moment the pilot steered away from them, then dropped the bomb into the sea and claimed to the general that the wind had deflected the drop. With the efforts of Sam and others, the whole town was finally saved. The movie was released in 1995, but proportionally foreshadows the current COVID epidemic we're having today. Hope everyone shall pick up the pieces and carry on. And don't forget to stay hydrated. That's the end of today's video. If you do enjoy watching it, feel free to leave a like and consider to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Abyssal signing out.